I didn't start watching the Clone Wars until 2017. I vaguely knew about some of the things that happened in the series just by osmosis, just by being a Star Wars fan and hearing things in the periphery. I didn't expect the show to kind of reinvigorate or show me a different side of Star Wars that I would ultimately fall in love with. The show debuted in October of 2008, August if you count the Clone Wars movie, and in 2008 I was 22, I was a year into the Navy at my first command, and I started dating my now wife. Busy. I don't remember when I first heard that a Star Wars animated show was coming out. It might have been well into its release, I really don't remember. But I guarantee my thought when I found out about it was, I'm not gonna watch a Star Wars cartoon. I do remember a bit of the reception when I sought it out a few years after its debut. It was not kind, initially. At first, it certainly was not kind. It takes time for the kids who like a thing to grow up and join the rank of keyboard warrior. It took me almost 10 years from the debut of the Clone Wars to give the show a chance. It's really weird for me to think back on the history of this channel and see that I uploaded my first video while new episodes of a new animated Star Wars show were being released, and I couldn't care less. It wasn't even registering on my radar. In fact, I don't even remember thinking about it. No one was talking about it in the channel's comment section. It was going relatively ignored on here for a very long time. And then, slowly but surely as the years passed, I started seeing more and more mentions of the Clone Wars in the comment section and all around places that this channel touches. It started with a few sprinkles, and after like 6 years, it was a heavy rainstorm. And the only thing I can attribute that to is the passing of time and a new generation of Star Wars fans growing up to have a voice. It was really cool to witness. Without this channel, I don't think I would have ever truly grasped the generational ebb and flow of new Star Wars material. And I doubt I ever would have given the Clone Wars a chance. But I'm glad I did. I still haven't watched season 6, but the show has made me fall in love with a different side of the franchise. The more fantasy side of Star Wars, the Jedi, the Sith, Mortis, even the spirituality, crystals. It's a side of Star Wars I liked here and there, sprinkled on top of some rusted out spaceships in the OT, but the Clone Wars pours it on often heavily. It's a show of lore, it's a show of context. It takes place in the 3 years between episodes 2 and 3, and it layers on context, where maybe context was lacking in the prequel films. Something like the Night Sister Witches is something that, if I never saw the show, I would still probably be rolling my eyes at. For years, it just sounded goofy to me. Witches? For years I heard of them, but I never knew anything about them. All of my opinions came from a place of ignorance, and now I see them as a great addition to the lore, utilizing the Force in a way never seen. It's a big old Star Wars galaxy, and you're gonna have plenty of variation and weirds-mobiles. I like it that way. Without watching the Clone Wars, I don't know if I would have enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order as much as I did. It was fun going to places that I had seen in the show. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you go to a really awesome place that was the subject of a Clone Wars arc. Just having that context added another layer of enjoyment to the game for me. You actually go to multiple places in the game where multiple Clone Wars arcs took place. Anyway, the Clone Wars really does a great job showing what's happening during this time period. The Separatists, the Confederacy, the politics, you see motivations, you see alliances, you see neutrality. Villains that might have fell flat for me in the prequel movies now have motivations and layers. And the Clone Wars makes the prequel era Star Wars galaxy feel alive and massive. It's fun to go on a new adventure with a new cast of characters on a new planet every time you fire up an episode. So yeah, something that I kind of shied away from or thought I would have no interest in or not enjoy turned out to show me a new side of Star Wars that I've grown to love. I was so steadfast in my OT-only nonsense for years that I allowed a pretty great show to slip me by. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of dud episodes and arcs, but when it's good, man, it's good. So if you were like me, give the show a chance, because dude, some of the arcs are insanely good Star Wars. I've pretty much watched everything other than Season 6. I just have to finish Season 6 before Season 7 comes in February. HelloGreedo, out.